Thank you very much for this opportunity. So I'll start at the beginning. I was born in Romania. That's communist Romania with a capital C. I grew up there when I was 12. My family and I emigrated to the United States, I would add legally. Weeks after becoming a U.S. citizen, I entered West Point. I was appointed to West Point by both my congressman and my senator at the time in New York, where I grew up. And after West Point, I served in the U.S. Army as a airborne ranger qualified infantry officer, primarily in special forces, that's Green Beret units. I then, after I left active duty, I still stayed in the reserve, but after active duty, I went to Harvard Business School. I earned an MBA, and I spent a year at the Kennedy School of Government. And after that, I became an entrepreneur, started a few companies, built one that I ended up selling to a division of General Motors, which at the time was the largest company in the world. And I've subsequently built a consulting company that's still active today in the area of national security, aerospace, defense, and high technology on strategy issues. I've been on a couple of boards of directors of public companies and private companies, one of them which was actually based in Danvers, so which we ended up selling to a company called Crane, and the company's still active today. So that's kind of my background. I've decided to run for political office because the state of our political climate in America is corrupt, corrosive, and going in the wrong direction. We have hyper-partisanship and polarization, and the sort of rhetoric that you hear from the political class reminds me far too much of the political discourse that I observed firsthand in my youth in communist Romania. And as Ronald Reagan, as well as others have said, we are one generation away from losing our liberty. And we fail to appreciate just how precious the system of government and the liberty that we have in the United States is. And unless we change our trajectory and our course, we are going from bad to worse. And that is demonstrated in many ways, and one of the principal ways is the increased disparity in incomes between the top 1%, the top 10%, and the rest of America. The fact that Americans have not seen a pay raise in 30 years is very disquieting, while at the same time, cost of basic necessities like health care, like housing, is going up, eating more and more of their income. And unless we reverse this course, and there are clear ways that we can reverse it, it's not rocket science to get the country back and save the middle class and save the consumer class. You cannot have a consumer economy without consumers, and that's the direction that we are going. So we need practical solutions to our problems, but every time we have a problem, the political process basically has the two current political parties go into their corner and start throwing poison arrows at each other, not trying to find the common ground and the common solution. You know, bipartisanship, by and large, means that whenever there is a bipartisan solution, they're either naming a post office or they're about to tax you about something. And every other thing, it's, back to our corners, let's just fight it out. So we need people that represents our interests, not the interests of their party, not their own self-interest, but represented. That's what the Constitution gives us, the right to be represented in Congress. And that's why I'm running to represent the best interest of the people of the 6th District, the best interest of the country, not my personal best interest, not the best interest of my political party, but our best interest.